Look, we all know the deal by now. Hyundai and Kia vehicles are basically built on the same bones. But when you are staring at the brand new Telluride and Palisade, they could not feel more different. One is a Range Rover ripoff pretty much, and the other is a high-tech luxury lounge. With both of these SUVs getting massive redesigns this year, the question is, which one actually deserves your hard-earned cash? Well, in this video, we will find out just that. So, without any further ado, let's jump right in. I mean, right off the bat, Kia seems to have went all out. The new grille is so big that it takes the entire upper half of the front end, with two distinct patterns depending on the model you get. The X-Pro gets a mesh of rectangles dotted around, while the rest of the lineup gets vertical slats with different thicknesses. The headlights are also new and extend down into the bumper with the Cybertooth DRL line and signature. Moving to the side, the silhouette is much more upright and angular, and those door handles now sit flush for a cleaner look. I do have one small niggle though. Right at the 12 o'clock position on the wheel arches, there is this weird little square mark that feels just out of place. It's less noticeable on the luxury trims with bigger wheels, but once you see it, you really can't unsee it. In terms of footprint, the Telluride has definitely grown. The wheelbase is up by 2.7 inches and it's over 2 inches longer overall. But around back, well, there is no way around it. It looks exactly like a Range Rover. Between the vertical taillights and the way the bumper corners slope, the resemblance is uncanny. There is even a character line under the logo that makes it look like a two-piece split tailgate, but it's actually just for show. Hyundai saw what Kia was doing and said, "Hold my drink." They completely reimagined the Palisade for 2026, and the result is, well, it's radical. Those DRLs are the first thing you notice, but the real magic is in the details. The grille has this high-end repeating texture, and the headlights are tucked away so perfectly you barely see them. With all the silver trim dotted around, it's giving off serious luxury vibes. From the side, you can really see the new boxy DNA. The roofline is straighter, the angles are sharper, and those squared off wheel arches really give it some muscle. Size-wise, it's definitely grown, but it's basically down to the inch compared to the Kia. Moving to the back, there is no way around it. This thing looks, again, just like a Range Rover, but from the last generation. You've got those same stacked LED taillights that mirror the front design, and a massive Hyundai logo with a Palisade wordmark dominating the liftgate. But the biggest change? The tailpipes. They are completely gone from the bumper now, tucked away for a much cleaner, more high-end look. At least personally, I just prefer the Telluride's new design to the Palisades. Jumping inside, whatever you think of the Telluride's exterior, the cabin is less polarizing and arguably pretty good looking. While the old model featured a fairly attractive design, this generation is completely new with a more horizontal look. The two-tier design wraps around the driver and passenger with wood trim and ambient lighting embedded within it. They even used real metal accents here, which gives the whole space a much more premium feel. Another big change is infotainment. The old separate screens are now gone, replaced by a massive curved panoramic display that puts it right in line with the new Sportage with the same easy-to-use interface. You'll also notice a new twist-to-action shifter behind the steering wheel that opens up a ton of space in the center console and adds things like redesigned grab handles. But it's not perfect. One major downside are the climate controls. They are now tucked away in a bit of a blind spot behind the steering wheel, which feels like a step back from the old physical buttons. Moving over to the Palisade, the old model was definitely a nice place to be, but for 2026, they've gone for this minimalist luxury lounge feel, again, just like the exterior, and you'll notice these soft oval shapes just about everywhere. There is this gorgeous layer of premium material stretching across the dash, tied together by a flowing metal line that wraps right over the new screen setup. And speaking of screens, just like the Telluride, the old separate displays are gone, and in their place is this massive curved panoramic piece of glass housing dual 12.3-inch displays. It looks way more high-end, similar to what we've seen in the Tucson, but much more polished. The rest of the dash had to be reimagined too. Instead of the Telluride's long fence stretching across the front, you've now got these individual oval surrounds that almost look like high-end furniture. Even the center console got an upgrade. It's got this double-door design and a huge open tray underneath for all your extra gear. If you are looking at the SEL trim or higher, that panoramic display is standard. The digital gauges change their look depending on drive modes, and they even give you some pretty cool off-road data. The main infotainment is snappy, just like in the Telluride, with high resolution and finally supporting wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto across the board. Now, let's talk about space. The new Telluride's wheelbase has been stretched by nearly 3 inches, and you can really feel it inside. Up front, you got tons of head and legroom, plus the seats are really supportive for those long hauls. Move into the second row is just as roomy, and the captain's chairs specifically are easily some of the best in the segment. Now, the third row, it's still a bit tight for tall adults, so maybe keep it for kids. As for the trunk, you get 22 cubic feet with all the seats up, fold that third row down and it jumps to about 49 cubes, and if you drop everything, you are looking at over 89 cubic feet of total cargo room. It's basically a van at this point. But how does the Hyundai stack up? Well, the Palisade's dimensions are the same as the Kia's down to the inch, yet it manages to squeeze a couple more inches of room both in the front and second row seats. Up front though, you won't really notice because there is plenty of room and the seats have great side support to keep you locked in. The second row is just as impressive with great comfortable seats, while the third row legroom grows to over 32 inches, making it way more friendly for taller teens or even adults, but it's still on par with the Telluride. As for cargo, it's only a few cubes short of the Kia. You get about 21.5 behind the third row, but fold everything down and it opens up to a massive 88 cubic feet. When it comes to pricing, the 2027 Kia Telluride LX starts at $39,000 $190 for an 8-seater. But honestly, the mid-range EX is the sweet spot. For about $45,000, you are getting the best of the best. 20-inch alloys, heated and cooled seats, and that massive dual-screen setup. If you want to go all out, the top-tier X-Line Prestige will run you nearly $55,000. Now, the Palisade is just as affordable, starting around $39,000 $500. If you are looking at the Hyundai, skip the base model and go for the SEL Premium. It adds many of the SUV's best tech and luxury features, including USB-C ports in the third row, heated and ventilated front seats, the dual-screen setup, and Hyundai's most advanced driver assistant features. The top-of-the-line calligraphy model goes for $54,000 $500. At the end of the day, both are very similarly priced and spec'd, so the way they look and how they drive is what it will come down to. Now, while these two share a platform, for the first time, they've taken a very different path under the hood of this new generation. The 2026 Palisade uses a newly developed 3.5-liter V6 that puts out 287 horsepower. It's significantly more refined than the old 3.8-liter, which honestly felt like it was straining a bit to get this much mass moving. The new V6 isn't a drag racer, but it's effortless. It delivers that reassuring drive that the Palisade owners love, quiet, smooth, and very refined. The 2027 Telluride, on the other hand, ditches the V6 entirely for their standard gas model, swapping it for a 2.5-liter Turbo 4. Now, it's got slightly less horsepower at 274, but it's got way more get up and go with 311 pound-feet of torque. So, while the Palisade feels like a smooth cruiser, the Telluride feels a bit punchier and more reactive when you put your foot down. Then there is the big news for both. Both SUVs now offer an identical 2.5-liter turbo hybrid system pushing 329 horsepower. It's the gutsy, high-tech choice that's targeting a massive 35 mpg highway. And here is the thing that you will notice. The moment you hit the road, it actually feels like a better drive. It's quicker than the gas versions and dead silent in the city. Now, when it comes to actually the way they handle how they drive, on the road, their personalities are pretty much identical, as in to say, incredibly comfortable, but don't expect a sports SUV here. So, which one should you choose? Well, it really gets down to the powertrains, and if I'm honest, while the V6 is smoother in the Palisade, the Telluride's more lively Turbo 4, combined with its more attractive design, would be my choice here.